Hello friends, I am Dr. Sarika Panwar, Assistant Professor in Department of ENTC in AISSMS Institute of Information Technology. Today we will discuss the topic Introduction to Information Theory.
Today we will start with the content of the subject Information Theory, Coding and Communication Network. We have discussed the syllabus of this subject in our previous video. We have seen the definition of information. As discussed previously, information is the intelligence or it is a message in terms of information theory. So message can be electrical signal in the form of voltage or current. It can be a speech signal, voice, it can be a picture, it can be an image, it can also be video or audio signal. So these messages are generated from some source of information, and in the language of information theory it is called as information source. The information which is generated by the information source is transmitted on communication channel. When the information source generates the information, initially it is encoded by the encoder. Then it is transmitted to the communication channel. It will pass through the communication channel, and at the destination side the information will be decoded by the decoder block, and then it will be sent to the receiver. Now we will try to understand the difference between these three terms, that is uncertainty, surprise and information. To understand these three terms, we will take one example. We will consider a child who is waiting for his father to come from office. Usually he gets a chocolate from his father when he comes from the office. But at this moment of time, he don't know whether he will bring the chocolate for him or not. So that we can call the uncertainty. When we don't know the occurrence of event, then we call it as uncertainty. Now, next term is surprise. Now we will consider that a father of a child suddenly come from office and he brings chocolate for him. So that is a surprise for him. So when a child come to know about the chocolate, then that is a surprise for him. So that is nothing but a surprise. When the event is known suddenly, that we call the surprise. Now once the event has occurred, now child know that father has brought the chocolate for him. So that is actually the information. So in information theory, we are concerned about the information content of a particular message. If we consider various messages like X0, X1, X2, these are the occurrence of the messages with the probability P0, P1, P2 respectively. So depending on the probability of occurrence of this message, we can measure the uncertainty of that message. If a particular message X0 has got the probability P0 which is equal to 0, means this event is not going to occur because its probability of occurrence is 0. It means that uncertainty is very high. Now when probability of a message is 1, in that case also uncertainty is very high, because we know that the particular message will occur certainly. Okay, so in both these cases uncertainty is very high. There is one general principle in probability theory that if we add the probabilities of a particular event, then it comes out to be 1. In information theory, our concern is always to measure the information content of a message. If a particular information source is generating the number of messages, then our concern is always to find the information content of a message. So, for that purpose, we will consider any information source which is emitting the independent messages. So, we will consider one information source which is emitting the messages M1, M2 with the probabilities P1 and P2. If the messages are independent, then addition of the probabilities of all messages comes out to be 1. To understand this concept, if we take the example of some messages with their corresponding probability. If we give this statement that in the month of December, it will be a sunny day today in Pune, then we know that in the month of December or January, generally the environment of Pune is very fresh and usually it is a sunny day. So its probability is very high. The probability of occurrence of that message is very high. So, we can say that information content of this statement is minimum because it is probable message. The probability is very high. So, if we take some other statement like it will rain heavily in Pune in the month of December, if we give this statement that it will rain heavily in Pune. So usually we know that in the month of December it doesn't rain in Pune. So this message contains some information. So if the probability of occurrence is less, then the information content of that particular message are high. So we can say that the probability of occurrence of a particular message and information content of that message are inversely proportional to each other. If probability decreases, information content will increase and vice versa. So we can give this statement mathematically that probability of a particular message and information content are inversely proportional. So if K is some message, then information content of that message K is equal to log to the base 2 1 by Pk. So from this formula we can understand that the information content of a particular message is inversely proportional to the probability of occurrence of that message. Now we will discuss the properties of information. As we have seen earlier that if the probability of a particular message is less, then it contains the more information. So if more uncertainty means less probability. If uncertainty is more means probability is less. More uncertainty, less probability about the message, then information content of that message will be more. That is the first property of information. Second property is if receiver knows message being transmitted, means that is a sure shot event, that is a certain event. Means that probability of occurrence of that particular message is very high. It is equal to 1. Means that message is certain. So information content of that message will be 0. It doesn't contain any information. That is the second property of information. Now, third property is, if I1 is the information of M1, if there are some messages like M1 and M2, I1 is the information content of message M1 and I2 is the information content of message M2, then the combined information content of message M1 and M2 will be equal to I1 plus I2. We will see the derivation of these properties. Then fourth property, if there are 2 raised to power n equally likely messages, m is equal to 2 raised to power n equally likely messages are there, then amount of information carried by each message will be equal to n bits. This is very important property, that if 2 raised to power n equally likely messages are there, then amount of information carried by each messages will be n bits. We will see the properties or derivation of these properties. We will discuss the derivation of first property. What is our first property of information? That if uncertainty is more, uncertainty of a message is more, then the information of that message will also be 1. So to prove this property, we will consider one example. We will consider message M1 having probability of occurrence 1/4 and M2 message having probability of occurrence 3/4. So, if the probability is less 1/4, it is less than 3/4. So, probability of occurrence of M1 is less, so uncertainty is more. That's why uncertainty of message M1, it is higher than uncertainty of message M2. So, information content of message M1 will be higher than information content of message M2. So, we have seen the formula of information content of a message, that is equal to log to the base 2 1 upon P of K. Okay. So, here for message M1, I of M1 means information content of message M1. Formula for information is log to the base 2 1 over Pk, where P of K, it is the probability of occurrence of message M1, which is equal to 1/4. So if we put this value 1/4 in this equation, then you will get log to the base 2 1/4. So it will be log to the base 2 of 4, which comes out to be equal to 1. So information content of message M1 is equal to 1. Now if we calculate for message M2, then probability of occurrence of message M2 is equal to 3/4. So we will put this value 3/4 in this equation. It is log to the base 2 1/3/4. So it becomes log to the base 2 4/3. So you find the answer, you will get 0.415. So what we can conclude from this, that if the uncertainty is high, uncertainty of this message M1 is high, information content of that message is also high. Okay, so we can conclude that for more uncertain messages, the second property. What is our second property? That if the receiver knows the message being transmitted, it means it is a sure event. The probability of occurrence of that message is 1. P of K is equal to 1. Then information content of that message will be 0, and to prove this property we have to consider one message whose probability is 1. So if we use this formula, general formula of information content of message, we will put P of k is equal to 1. Okay, so the equation will become log to the base 2 1. And if we solve this equation by using the formula log to the base 10 1 divided by log to the base 10 2, then its value will be 0. It means that if it is a sure shot event, it means that probability of occurrence of that message is 1. It means there is no information in that message. Now we will discuss the third property. What third property states that if I1 is the information of message M1 and I2 is the information of message M2, then combined information of message M1 and M2 is equal to I1 plus I2. That is nothing but our third property. So to prove this property, we will consider two messages M1 and M2 which are independent of each other. The occurrence of these messages M1 and M2 are independent of each other. M1 is occurring with probability P1 and M2 message is occurring with probability P2. So information content of message M1 is equal to I1. That will be formulated as log to the base 2 1 by Pk. And for message M2, information content will be log to the base 2 1 by P2. We know that M1 and M2 are independent messages. So their composite probability can be represented by P1, P2. From the theory of probability, we know that if two messages are independent of each other, then their composite probability can be represented as P1, P2. So, the combined information of that messages M1 and M2, if it is represented by I suffix 1, 2, then its formula will be log to the base 2 1 over P1 P2, where P1 P2 is the composite probability of message M1 and M2. So further it can be mathematically represented as log to the base 2 1 over P1 into 1 over P2. From the formula log of AB is equal to log A plus log B, the equation can be rearranged as log to the base 2 1 over P1 plus log to the base 2 1 over P2, which is nothing but this first term is I1, that is the information content of message M1, and this term is nothing but I2, that is information content of message M2, which is equal to the composite probability of which is equal to the combined information of message M1 and M2. So this is how we can prove the third property. Property 4 of information is, if there are 2 raised to power n equally likely messages. Equally likely messages means the probability of occurrence of each message is equal. If this is the case, if the messages are equally likely and that is equal to 2 raised to power n, then the amount of information carried by each message will be n bits.